Hello everyone, welcome back to channel. Today we are going deep into the world of rare coins, especially the Kennedy half dollar. We'll talk about the regular 2000p Kennedy half dollar, why someone might claim a value like $3,500, and also explore some truly ultra-rare era Kennedy halves that are very valuable. If you like coins, history, or rare things, you'll enjoy this. The Kennedy half dollar is a very well-known coin in the United States. It was first made in 1964 after the tragic death of President John F. Kennedy. People across the country wanted to honor him, so the U.S. Mint quickly designed a coin with his image. The coin became very popular right away, and many people kept them as keepsakes. The front of the coin, also called the obverse, shows a picture of President Kennedy facing left. The back of the coin, called the reverse, shows the presidential seal, which includes an eagle with a shield, holding arrows and an olive branch. The design has remained mostly the same over the years, although the materials used to make the coin have changed. When the Kennedy half dollar first came out in 1964, it was made with 90% silver. That made it more valuable, not just for collectors but also because of the silver itself. In the years after, the silver content was lowered, and by 1971, the coin was made with copper and nickel instead of silver. These newer coins are called clad coins, which means they are made by layering different types of metal together. This makes them cheaper to produce and reduces their value for metal content. Now let's talk about the 2000p Kennedy half dollar. The 2000 stands for the year the coin was made. The letter P is the mint mark, which tells us it was made at the Philadelphia Mint. In the year 2000, over 22 million of these coins were produced in Philadelphia. That's a very large number. Because so many of them were made, they are not considered rare. This means that most of the 2000p Kennedy half dollar coins you might find today are not very valuable. If you find one in your change or in a drawer at home, chances are it's only worth about 50 cents to maybe $1 or $2, depending on its condition. Some people may have seen listings online or heard stories that a 2000p Kennedy half dollar is worth $3,500. That would be amazing if true, but in most cases, it's not. A regular 2000p coin in average or even good condition is not going to sell for thousands of dollars. However, there are a few special situations where a coin like this could be worth much more. For example, if the coin has a rare mint error, it might become valuable to collectors. A mint error means something went wrong while the coin was being made at the U.S. Mint. Examples of errors include things like the coin being struck off-center, parts of the design missing, doubled letters or numbers, or even missing mint marks. Some of these mistakes are very rare and interesting, and that's what makes them valuable. Another reason a coin might be worth more is because of its condition. Coins that have never been used or touched much are in what's called uncirculated condition. If the coin is almost perfect, with no scratches, wear, or discoloration, it might be worth more than just its face value. Coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC give coins official grades, and if a coin gets a very high grade like MS68 or MS69, where MS means mint state, it could be worth a lot more to serious collectors. But these high grades are hard to find, and most coins don't qualify. Proof coins are also special types of coins made for collectors. These are not made for use in everyday purchases. Instead, they are struck carefully to make them look extra shiny with very fine details. If a 2000p Kennedy half dollar is a proof coin, especially one made from silver, it will be worth more than a regular one. Proof coins often come in sets and are sold directly to collectors by the U.S. Mint. Some of them have what's called a deep cameo effect, where the design stands out with a frosty look while the background is mirror-like. This makes the coin even more attractive to collectors. Now, even if you have a proof coin, or one that looks perfect, it's still important to have it checked by an expert. Some people see coins listed for thousands of dollars on auction websites and assume their coin is the same, but there are many small differences that can change a coin's value. A tiny scratch, a small discoloration, or just being a few grades lower can mean the difference between a coin worth $5 and one worth hundreds. That's why grading and careful inspection are so important. If you really think your coin is valuable, the best thing to do is to take it to a local coin shop or send it to a grading company for evaluation. It's also important to remember that just because a coin is old or shiny doesn't mean it's valuable. The value of a coin depends on a few things. How many were made, how many are still in good condition, whether there are any mint errors, and how much collectors are willing to pay. The year 2000 was not a rare year for Kennedy half dollars. In fact, it was a high production year, which usually keeps the value low. Unless something special happened to the coin during production, or unless it has been kept in flawless condition, it is probably not going to sell for thousands of dollars. Sometimes people make mistakes when valuing coins. There are websites and videos that show coins being sold for huge amounts of money, but they often don't give all the details. A coin might have sold for $3,500 because it had a one-of-a-kind error, was in perfect condition, and had been certified by a trusted grading company. But if your coin doesn't have all those qualities, it's not worth that much. People also sometimes list coins for sale at very high prices online, but that doesn't mean someone actually buys them for that price. You always have to look at what the coin actually sold for, not just what someone is asking. If you have a 2000p Kennedy half dollar, take a good look at it. Is it shiny and clean, or is it worn and scratched? Is there anything unusual about the design? Are the letters and numbers clear and sharp? Do you see any signs of doubling or mistakes in the image? If anything looks strange or unique, it might be worth showing to a coin dealer. But if it looks like a regular coin, it's probably worth somewhere between 50 cents and a couple of dollars. And that's still okay. Coins are fun to collect, and learning about them is part of the joy. Even though most 2000p Kennedy half dollars are not super valuable, coin collecting is still a great hobby. You never know what you might find. Sometimes, people do find rare errors or high-grade coins in old jars, drawers, or coin rolls. If you enjoy the search, you'll always have something exciting to do. Plus, even the more common coins tell a story about our history, our presidents, and the way money is made. And who knows, maybe one day you really will find a coin that's worth $3,500 or more. But until then, enjoy the journey, learn what to look for, and always do your research before getting too excited about high values. To sum it up, the 2000p Kennedy half dollar is a cool and interesting coin that many people have seen or owned. Most of them are not rare and are worth only a small amount. However, some can be valuable if they are in perfect condition, are special proof coins, or have rare errors from the mint. Claims of coins being worth thousands of dollars are only true in very rare cases. Always check with experts, compare your coin to real auction results, and be careful when looking at prices online. Coin collecting can be fun, educational, and sometimes even profitable, but it's important to be realistic and careful. If you take your time and learn the details, you'll enjoy it even more.